from Northwest Regional College and Belfast Metropolitan College. And ladies and gentlemen, my name is Samantha Traynor and I'm the Vice Principal here at Northwest Regional College. I can't see you anymore now, you're all dark. On behalf of the Principal, Mr. Leo Murphy, who can't attend today, I welcome you to the College and to the Northern Ireland Creative and Cultural Skills Awards 2018. I would like to pay a special welcome to Nuala McKeever. Nuala has a career in television and radio and writing and comedy, so a big round of applause for Nuala. I had the pleasure of speaking to her briefly. And since I would do a major disservice to Nuala's CV, I will allow Nuala to elaborate on that wonderful piece in relation to her experience herself. Our college, as you know, is a leadership college in this industry. And along with our colleagues from Belfast Metropolitan College, who are also a leadership college, we look forward to an afternoon of music, dance and film. When I looked recently at the level of engagement with this sector, I was amazed at the vigorous links that our college has with industry, mainly through project-based learning activities in this field.
The business of the arts,
examples include
backstage activities, set design, lighting,
to produce a
sound,
video in the life
any sort of technical theatre as well as on-stage
to
activities such as
sustained engagement
singing,
with a wide range
dance,
of stakeholders,
acting,
including the
basically
BBC,
anything that you can do on
Derry
stage
City
with
and
front of a
Strabane
camera.
District Council,
And whatever
Royal
ranks you
Hospice
on
and the Millennium
Freedom
Forum,
Social
to
Awards
name but a few.
last year.
We did, yeah.
And all of this work allows our students to develop the skills they need to a professional level so that they can progress on to paid employment after their graduation. I could go on and on and on about the level of engagement and the work that we do. But I recognise and acknowledge that none of that would be achievable without the hard work and dedication of the amazing staff that we have and that Belfast Met have in this field. And in our college, the staff are so ably led by their heads of department, Mr. Danny Lafferty and Ms. Kathleen McCall, their deputies, Mickey Maloch and Galvin Dobson, and curriculum managers. It would be impossible to name everyone individually. There are so many great players in this field. I wish you all an enjoyable afternoon, and to each and every nominee, the very best of luck in the awards. Thank you.
And this is me. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm Nuala. Hello. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you very much indeed. Welcome to the 4th Awards, Northern Ireland Creative and Cultural Skills Awards. Who's excited on a scale of 1 to 10? How excited are you? That's a bit lame. And I don't mean Liam, the guy. Okay, let's hear a little bit more excitement, because some people are going to win awards. These are gorgeous awards today. Some people are going to get commended. Some people are just going to pig out on the food and drink. So whatever tickles your fancy, give us a big cheer. It's good to get a bit of biz going at the start. Thank you very much. Wasn't the music brilliant on the way in? That was the Belfast Met students. I think we had 2 different bands or groups. What's the current term? I'm not very down with the kids anymore. I shouldn't do that. When you're in your 20s and you do that, you look cool. If you're over 50, you just look like you've got arthritis. Well, we had 2 groups. High Hopes, which is Zoe, David, Lauren, Sinead and Patrick. Give them a big whoop. Woohoo! And we have White Noise, which is Ellie, Jane, Scott, Peter and Sam. So thank you. They're probably in the green room doing drugs and throwing things out the window. No, not that anybody would do drugs in Derry. No, never. And thank you very much. Wasn't the food amazing? It was made by the catering students here in the college, so big up to them. It's lovely to be here. I love Derry. I love coming to Derry, Stroke, Londonderry, etc. I can't believe Jerry Anderson isn't here. My God, every day I miss that man. But it's lovely. But I have to confess, when I get as far as Derry, I came from Belfast today. That's where I live. That's where I came from there, obviously. I always just want to keep going to Donegal. It's really hard to turn off and not just go over the bridge, because a friend of mine has a house in Dunfanaghy and I go there quite a lot. Obviously it's Dunfanaghy, it's not really Donegal. It's kind of the culture of Donegal, isn't it? You say what you like. I was up there in the summer pretending to be a Protestant. Say what you like about the prods, they know how to keep a place tidy, don't they? I mean, most towns in Donegal are neither here nor there, but Dunfanaghy, you could eat your tray bakes off the tarmac. I was up there, and people say to me, where do you get your comedy ideas from? But it's just listening to how people speak. It really tickles me. Like up in Dunfanaghy there over the 12th, I was up over the 12th to get away from all the shenanigans. And I was telling this story, and I said there was some old stalls with bric-a-brac. She told me that was the weekly market. But there was a market going on in the town square. And I walked past, and I just love the way people speak. This wee girl was standing, it was some old pile of bric-a-brac. I think that's French for old crap that nobody else wants. And this man was selling some stuff, and there was a little girl standing. She reminded me of me when I was a kid. She was about 12 years old. She was standing with this pair of really old-fashioned looking walkie-talkies in her hand. And as I walked past, the man behind the stall says, "Dear, now, one of them works and the other one doesn't." I'm just thinking, what good's that, and how could you tell? Well, that's what I love. I love it. I love just the way we talk here. Although I think sometimes we tend to pussyfoot. We're very blunt sometimes in Northern Ireland. Have you noticed how, people here tend to bring you down if you're getting excited? Which is why I love celebrating, because we do tend to be negative here, don't we? Like you say to somebody in Northern Ireland, "Nice day." It's to turn bad by the weekend. You give somebody a compliment. "Oh, lovely skirt." This whole thing. Or if it's a woman, she always gives you the where, when, and how much, doesn't she? $2.99 Primark last summer. Primark, I thought there was a wee whiff of smoke off it. That's just the Belfast one. Did you see the big fire? Demolished Primark in Belfast. They lost all their stock. Yeah, £937 worth. But you give somebody... I took my mother to Hillsborough Castle down in Hillsborough, obviously. Yes. Brought my mother, thought I was doing a job, thought she might like the decor in the gardens. What was my mother's only comment? "Wouldn't want to have the heating of that place." Like it's even going to happen, And like if somebody does well here, which again is why it's good to celebrate you all here today, because generally when somebody does well, this is true. We were in a taxi a few years ago and we said to the taxi driver, "Did you see Liam Neeson won an Oscar?" What did the taxi driver say? But I kind of like that bluntness, as opposed to sometimes our public bodies tend to pussyfoot, they try to dress things up. Like in the summertime, I had to laugh. The PSNI, there was trouble in East Belfast, and the PSNI actually said they were concerned about sinister elements in the UVF. I thought, sinister elements in the UVF as opposed to what the non-sinister UVF, the nice UVF. Wondered what their slogan would be: "Prepared for peace, ready for a cuddle." I like to remember when the tourist board tried to, rebrand the 12th of July after all the trouble one year, and they called it Orange Fest. I don't think it really took on. Although I did wonder this year if that's why Donald Trump came over on the 13th of July, just to extend Orange Fest by a day. But no, it is great to be celebrating here. And I think, I work in the creative industry, I suppose. I don't really think of it that way. I think of it as just sitting in my house writing. I write and perform comedy. I was in the Hole in the Wall gang group years ago. We started at university, and we used to do sketch shows, and I didn't even have any idea of getting into anything like this. I was doing Spanish and English, really vocational degree there. And but one thing led to another, and I got a job in the BBC as a secretary, temporary secretary. Got a job as a researcher, and it kind of blossomed from one thing accidental for me. The Hole in the Wall gang, which was on UTV, which called McKeever, so I did lots of different characters. Did that for 3 years. Like, we're going back 18 years before most of you were born. Well, some of you were definitely born then. So I have been in and around this, and then as I was saying to Suzanne earlier, after 3 years of my own show, I couldn't get arrested on TV, so I started writing my own plays because I had something I wanted to say, and I just wanted to earn some money. So I have actually earned a living for 25 years off my own bat, which is pretty good when you think of it that way. I've written 6 plays, and I do lots of bits and pieces as well. And I'm currently working on a sitcom pilot, which a television production company has commissioned me to do. With any luck, it'll be on the BBC, so here's hoping. It won't be so much Derry Girls as Belfast Isle Dolls, at the rate we're going at the moment. But I think, like most people here, what we really want in life, we want to be creative because it makes us happy. And I think we all want to be happy. Do we want to be happy? Put up your hand if you want to be happy, for God's sake. Good. If you're under 20, just post something on Instagram. If you're over 50, rattle your hip replacement. But we do, and I think sometimes, we lose track. Our society has separated science and art, which is crazy because for millennia and millennia, science, maths, art were all seen, and philosophy were all kind of interrelated, as they are. I mean, if you're a rounded human being, you know, you need science and logic to function, and you need creativity and art and inspiration and music to give quality and texture to your life. And it's a bit like if you have too much of one thing and nothing of the other, everything gets out of balance. So it's great today. This is the creative industry. It's art, it's music, it's drama, it's film, it's dance, it's the technical side, sound, audio, all that. It's wonderful that the awards exist, because I'm not sure that we really know where happiness lies. I think we've all agreed now it's not stuff. Do you really appreciate that it's more stuff is not going to make you happy? No, there's a few people going, I still want that iPhone for my Christmas. But on its own, like, I think we've got too much sometimes here. I was in my local co-op shop in the summer there, and I had taken my nephews out to some water event, you know, one of these kind of water sports thing. And I was talking to the woman behind the counter, and I was just saying, you know, it's pretty dear. We're like 25 quid a head. I was thinking, God, it's expensive enough. And she says to me, she says, oh, here, she says, don't get me started. She says, I took all our ones bowling for an hour last week, and cost me a fortune. I says to them, right, that's it. See, this summer, yous are getting nothing. We're going to Spain. So I think we're so well off. Going to Spain is now nothing. But thank you for welcoming me here today. It's very nice. You're not always guaranteed a welcome, even if you're somebody very famous. Like even the Pope, well, the last Pope, he went to Scotland a few years ago, flew in to Glasgow. Who did they get to sing from? Susan Boyle. You could just see the man's face going, what did I do to deserve? He wasn't Italian, but I can't do a German accent. What did I do to deserve this? Nelson Mandela gets Beyonce and the Spice Girls. I get Subo and Michelle McManus, that other big bird off the X Factor. And they came to the end of the Mass, and they were in Glasgow, and the Pope says, okay, anybody need help with anything, come forward now, we pray for you. So wee Brenton from Glasgow, right, wee Brenton gets in the queue, and he gets up the top of the queue, and the Pope says, Brenton, tell us, what do you need help with? And Brenton says, oh, I need help with my hearing. So the Pope puts his finger into Brenton's ear, puts his hand in his head, and he prays, and the congregation join in. And they pray, and they pray. And a few minutes later, the Pope takes his hands away. He says, Brenton, tell us, how is your hearing now? And Brenton says, oh, I don't know, it's not till next week. Boom, boom. You're all such innocent little people up here in Derry, Stoke Londonderry. No, it's great. And thank you for being here. You could have been, there's so many other things happening. You could all have been down in the Millennium Forum this afternoon where they're premiering the new Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. Have you heard of it? It's based on the life of Daniel O'Donnell. It's called Superstar. Jesus Christ. Okay, and on that note, let us get into the meat and the drink of today. So this is the 4th year of the awards. It's the 2nd year up here in Derry. And it's celebrating the unsung heroes of the creative industries and education who give all the young people opportunities to work and learn in the creative industries. And we're also celebrating the young people who are obviously the next generation of talent in Northern Ireland. So the theme for the awards this year is breaking into the creative industries. It's not a course in burglary. We're going to look at what it means for young people who are looking to build a career. And they produce more income than some of the biggest other sectors. Like they are growing 3 times the rate of the wider economy. They generate something in the region of £92 billion. It's a bigger sector economically combined, but a lot of people still believe you cannot make a career in this industry, and it can be a challenging sector. I know that personally. It's very challenging to get into it. Once you're there, maybe not so hard, but how do you get into it in the first place? So we're considering how best to support young people in the sector, and we're going to hear from a panel of industry professionals who are working in the music business. We're going to hear how they got to be where they are today, and we're going to hear from some young creatives who are working in a range of creative industries. They're sort of at the beginning of their career or just started. So we're going to hear all those different stories, and with any luck, you'll get some ideas and be inspired to think that there is a place for you in the creative industries. So we've heard the welcome from Samantha, and we're going to go straight then into our first performance. We're going to have a panel, we're going to have interviews, and we're going to have some performances and a house band. So to start us all off, please give a very warm welcome. We're going to have dance from the Northwest Regional College dancers. They are Sharon Sweeney, Ronan McGrath, Tasha Grant, and Sabina, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Cheyenne, and they're going to be dancing a piece that is choreographed by Carrie Logue Houston, and it's from Lithium by Elma Orchestra. So please give them a very warm welcome for the dancers. Well done, Sharon, Ronan, Tasha, and Sabina. That was absolutely fantastic. Oh, wow, that was very beautiful. That was beautiful, absolutely. Okay, we're going to move on. Our first panel this afternoon is comprised of 3 people working in the creative industries. So please give a warm welcome to Suzanne Doyle, Mark Holden, and Hannah Richardson. In no particular order, this is Susanna over here. Susanna has 30 years of experience working in the international music industry in a wide range of roles, including working with U2 over a 13-year period, representing independent labels with MTV Europe and booking and managing
creative and cultural skills gives young people opportunities to work and learn in the creative industries. They are a charity that provides careers, advice and guidance, promotes apprenticeships and delivers activities for young people. They deliver this through a network of industry and education, supporters like Northwest Regional College and Belfast Met. So, if you have ambitions to work on Game of Thrones, Derry Girls, or even design for the Royal Opera House, a CCS-backed course is for you. Now over to Kelly Quinn, who spoke to Carrie Logue Houston from Northwest Regional College, a nominee for the Creative Tutor Award being presented today.
Are you going to give us a sample? Not today. You should have said buy our tracks and you can hear us. She's from here in the city as well. The band was formed here in the college because of their love of music in December 2016. In March 2018 they released their first single, Take It Back, and they've toured and played festivals up and down Ireland. And September, give them a big up for this, they were nominated for 2 awards in the Northern Irish Music Prize, one for Best Oh Yeah Contender and one for Best Single. Woo!
You know what myself and students are trying to push.
So I will let this trio of lovelies do their thing and we'll enjoy listening to them.
How important do you think dance is in the creative industry?
Well, I think it's tremendously important. I think it's really important for young people to be able to express themselves and also for performers to feel physically confident in their bodies. So even the majority of the students that would come in would maybe do the performing arts course for drama, acting, but also, you know, for actors it's tremendously important for them to be very body aware.
Yeah.
And also, you know, for students who would like to develop their movement skills as well, it's fantastic that they've been introduced to various types of dance.
Are you excited about tomorrow?
I'm very excited. I'm a bit nervous, but you know what? I think even the nomination to me is, I feel like I've won a prize as it is, to be honest. So I'm just going to enjoy the day.
Brilliant. Well, good luck tomorrow. Thank you.
Which was the idea when it first started. We're still independent today, so anything that the band has done really has come down to us, and it's because of us, which is a great thing to be able to say, and we just love doing it.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Doyle. I'm based in Dublin, but in the last couple of years I've been spending more time in Northern Ireland than I have in the last 30 years that I've been working in this crazy creative industry. At the moment I call myself a music and creative consultant, and in 2018 you have to wear many different hats, and I do that. And it's very precarious, up and down, but it is quite amazing. And you get to meet amazing people Being here for this event, my brain is going to be, I'm on the bus at 3 o'clock, and it's just going to be whizzing with inspiration about what I'm hearing that's going on, and I just hope that we can continue to keep all these amazing, wonderful things going. And yeah, I don't know if that says what I do, but
Perfect.
fire away.
Yeah.
So again, we're just going to touch base about our jobs and what we're doing now at the minute in the industries. And first of all, our first break. How do we all start?
Well,
we'll go back.
I'm going to jump in here because it's so random, and it's my geography teacher. I was 18. I came home from school. My sister said, the teacher wants you to ring. I had finished school. I wanted to go to college and be a psychologist, but the other half of me wanted to be an actress. Got a call from a geography teacher 2 years after I left. He'd heard of an interview, and it was with U2. I wasn't a fan at all. But I put my mother's clothes on. I got on the bus. I went and did the interview. I got on the bus. I came home. The phone on the wall rang, and I got the job. And I was kind of not really bothered, to be honest, because I wasn't a fan. But I went to work, and that first week working in that office in 1987 blew my mind. And for the first time, I felt this is where I belong. I can't describe it. I don't know to this day if I ever will, but people were working so hard. They were so dedicated. It was happening. And before I knew it, I didn't redo my leaving, and I ended up going on tour, on and off, working with management. And the rest is history. I left them 17 years ago, and I've been freelancing now. But, I mean, the thing about the lucky break is really important. And some people get it, and some people don't, but it's keeping it, and keeping it going is the tricky part, and trying to make your own breaks. And we'll talk a bit more about that, but that's mine.
Great. So our first kind of break would have been, we're still quite a moderately new band. We've been going about 1.5 years with this lineup. So about a couple of months there, back in May, we did BBC Biggest Weekend Fringe in BBC Blackstaff Studios in Belfast with And So I Watched From Afar and girls' names Joshua Burnside, Kit Philippa. I might be forgetting somebody, but it was a really big deal for us because we just kind of put out our first EP and we were nobody. And the really kind of ironic thing about it was that I'd messaged I put out my first single when I was maybe 13 or 14, and it didn't do very well. It wasn't very good, but I sent it to this person at the BBC or whatever, and I was like, can you give this a spin? This is me, whatever. And they were like, no, it's not very good. So, try again next time. So that's exactly what I did. So I came back then with a new project, and I was about maybe 16, and it was a new band, and this time I had like 3 people behind me, and I thought it was really good, and I was like, this is it, this is the one, and sent it again to this person, and it was like, great song, but it's not recorded very well, try again. And this happened to be the time when we got played. Not only did we get played, but we got featured for this Biggest Weekend Fringe, which was such a big idea, or like ideal for us, because we've been listening to like And So I Watched From Afar and Girls' Names. They were huge kind of inspirations to us whenever we were first writing as a band and stuff. So for us to be on the same kind of lineup was absolutely insane, with only a couple of songs to our name. So yeah, that was our first kind of big break.
Woo. My first big break, God. No, my first break actually was here in the college. This is where I started. Going back to what I was speaking about earlier on. I cut my teeth here, again 6 years ago. I got real passion for behind the scenes of the music industry, about managing it. I really was fascinated in how the veins of it all worked. It's in my opinion anyway, it's 90% business, 10% talent. So it is. Some people disagree with me on it, but behind the scenes there's many things. There's many people working it for an artist. So there is. So back to 6 years ago, I started off, again, got the passion for really trying to get involved in the music industry. So started off locally. There's a lecturer in the college gave me an opportunity to work in the studio with him, Rory. And so it was like over the summer, and then there's bands coming into the studio. Just got friendly with the bands, and then I started managing a band. It was my first ever band that I'd ever managed. Fast forwarding on, currently managing a band called Touts. Doing pretty well with them at the minute. Currently working with Paul Weller with the band. Paul Weller's produced the album with them. We've done a lot of work with Liam Gallagher and Kasabian too as well over the past year, which has been good. So, and we signed a deal to Domino, which was the first big break, I think, for me. So it was.
That's hard nowadays.
It is hard, like, you know, you're still, I'm cut my teeth as a manager, like, do you know what I mean? And then you're working with the real guys in the industry, and you know, it was a process to get in there. Do you know what I mean? And it was starting at the start, when you got the call with your geography teacher, Hannah being at the college, me being at the college, and it's not an easy route there. Do you know what I mean? But we get there, so we do. So.
Well, I just jump in there because the reason I met Mark, and it's one of the things I'd really love to put out there, particularly for students and people starting off, is that there are so many opportunities, and I think on the island of Ireland, there's between Output and Belfast and Hard Working Class Heroes and Music Cork, and there's so many. And I just think if young people in behind the camera or in front of the camera or anywhere should be going to these, and sometimes they're not as well attended as they could be. And that's something, what I met Mark, I was working with a Finnish film crew. They go around the world taking a litmus test of the countries based on music, and I was producing the Irish one. And I was looking for a hardcore, energetic band, and Stuart Bailey, who I'm sure some of you in the room know, sent me 3 or 4 bands, and I jumped on Touts. I wrote to Mark. I said, can we film? I brought the crew up to Derry in 2 years ago, was it?
No, just a year.
Oh, was it?
Just a year ago.
And we filmed Touts, and we've been friends since. But if he had kind of not answered the email or not jumped on that, even though it was only being shown in Scandinavia, it wasn't part of the plan, but it was on Netflix, and you never know, it might be on Netflix, UK and Ireland. But you seized that opportunity, and we've become friends. I hope I've opened doors. I'll continue if I can. But that's one of the things I'd love to just drive home, is to keep all the options open and make the best of everything and anything that comes your way.
Totally, it's definitely about just taking every opportunity that you can get. You know, anything that comes through the door, look at it, weigh it up. You know what I mean? And if it's going to, as you say, open doors for you, you know what I mean? And just really run for it. You know, it's so important, especially as an artist, coming from an artist's point of view. I think that you know, you've been in situations where you go, should I do this or not do this? And then you go, right, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we're sort of coming from a DIY sort of point of view as well. We're not sort of under any sort of main management yet. So a lot of it is about making contacts. You sort of touched on it there as well, just about meeting people and, you know, seizing an opportunity. And even if it doesn't really look like an opportunity, it's still an opportunity. Like, we were in Dundee there at the weekend, played at a gig that I was at, and we just started chatting about, you know, being in a band, and he was telling me he was in a band, and then so came about that he promoted this big festival in Dundee, which then turned out to be, you know, a really big deal. So we played last year and we played this year, and it was, you know, that again, it all came down to contacts and just starting to recognize opportunities. And, you know, over time you start to see the same faces over and over again, especially within, you know, the NI kind of music scene, and you start to recognize people and just make those connections. So yeah, it's really beneficial if you're talking about starting a new band or if you're already in a band.
It's such a small industry too as well. Yeah. Everybody knows everybody, so they do, and it's kind of like you never take nothing for granted. And there's somebody in the back of the room that you mightn't like to look at, but this person could change your whole career path by just getting their phone number or their email. You know.
Yeah, and also Island of Ireland is tiny. Yeah. So if you're working in music or any creative industries, the chances are you're going to bump into that person down the line. And I am still meeting people that I would have met 30 years ago. And actually with social media and the internet, obviously now, it's an international playground. And you know, it's kind of important to remember that when you go to do a gig or an event and you leave the room, people talk. So one of the messages I feel very passionate about is being mannerly and respectful, because I sometimes can see a little bit of complacency or apathy, and it's not going to serve you well in this industry, because it's a long game, and you know, if one route doesn't work, you might have to try another. And you touched on that earlier on in comedy and writing. You've had to wear different hats, from TV to stand-up. Similarly to me, the jobs I've done, mother of God, I wouldn't even go into some of them. They're so horrendous and so soul-destroying, but I had to put food on the table, and you do what you have to do. And I believe by working makes your head better. So it's good for the mental health to be doing any work rather than no work. And I would be very passionate about that. Get up, get out, and get a job. Work in a bar, do whatever. But don't stay in, because being on your own, and you know, we all have dark days. It's not good to do that for too long. So I would say be respectful, be mannerly, and work hard, even if it's not a dream job.
Well, it kind of just touches on the ups and downs of the industry. It definitely is 50-50 big time. Sometimes it's the best time ever, and you're having a ball, and it's great, and everything's running so smoothly, and then you just had a wall. And it's so hard sometimes to get over the hurdles of things. But again, it makes you tougher. So it does. It's an industry that makes you really hard, and you know, you get on with it, and you work to an extent where it's kind of like you just, each day has to be better than the next day. Do you know what I mean? So again, ups and downs. I've had many of them. So I've had currently in an up at the minute, just back from tour. So I was a bit of a down one. But.
Definitely one of the downs would be money. We're still obviously, as I say, like quite a new band, but we came in, we were never really expecting to make any money out of it at the beginning anyway, and we get people sometimes, like the odd person would, you know, come up to us and be like, you know, how do you make money? And I'm like, I don't know, like, because we're still not at that position yet. But it can be done. It just needs to be something that you work at really, really hard. But like the ups are fantastic. The ups are really, really great. Getting out, festival season is fantastic over summer, and you're playing, you know, Stendhal and The Great Escape and Voices and all those things, and it just makes. It's like a light bulb sort of turns on. It's like, yeah, like this is why I'm doing this. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I'll jump in there, because I think being here, coming up again on the bus yesterday and thinking about the charity, which is Creative and Cultural Skills, what blew me away the more I looked into this is that they're opening doors and apprenticeships and making connections. And you know what? That's the hard part. It's the getting paid. So congratulations to everybody in the charity that's pulling that together. I really take my hat off to you. I don't think we have something like that down south, but we could do that, because it's hard. And you know, actually one of the recipients of the award last year, Liam Craig, I believe he's a teacher here or a tutor here. He's now, you know, looking after Ro from Derry, another Derry girl, and that's a success story. But they are proof of the pudding. They go to every event. They're mannerly. They're courteous. They're kind of pushy without being rude. Just amazing people, and I wish Liam and Ro so much success.
So with the ups and downs, we meet a lot of great people on the road. So we do. People that are mentors too as well. it's great people that we meet. So it is. Suzanne's now one of my best friends. So she is, and we've just a year and a half ago. I was sitting thinking it was a year and a half ago we first met. So again, people you've met along the way, who's been your highlights and mentors?
My mum being one of them has been like such a huge kind of influence. Before I could drive, she was the one like taking me like halfway across the country to like Galway to play a gig, bringing the band in her like little tiny like C1 car. So, you know, my mum definitely. We kind of, as a Rooney, his name is, and he is basically just a photographer, but he is so much more than that. Like, he's such a great friend. He takes us out, and if we need a photo shoot done, you know, Mickey does it for us. Just kind of making friends with people like that. You know, if you meet somebody that just actually have like a keen interest in your band and what you're producing, is so important, because, you know, like, at the end of the day as well, you know, no manager is ever going to have as much interest in your band as what you are yourself. I don't know. I just think that...
Come on, Fatana.
Oh, well, I mean, just speaking from... but it's great. It's true. So, you know, it's great whenever somebody actually does have such a keen interest in your music.
Yeah, I would like to commend you, because I was saying to you earlier on, I think artists should also manage themselves for as long as they can. I would be a big fan of DIY model. I'd be a big fan of learning the ropes while you're at a smaller place. Make your mistakes, make your connections, and then when it gets to the point where you actually cannot be artistic and write your music or perform, and you need the help of a manager, I think it's almost like a chemistry thing. You have to have that. So what Mark has with Touts is a really strong connection where your belief is as strong as the band, and they're so talented, and they're having an amazing journey. And again, I'd be so supportive of them and you and what you're doing, but I'll be looking at what you're doing too, because you're phenomenal energy. I'm so blown away. But for me, mentors, I would be not fair for me not to mention my geography teacher, who since passed on, sadly. His name was Dermot Scully, and oh my God, I'm welling up even thinking about him, because he genuinely saw something in me, and I'd love a big round of applause for him. Woo!
So with the people that we actually meet, it's the good stories of it all. So it is, you know what I mean? And like, I've had so many great stories. Like, you know, it's been amazing for the past while. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like Liam Gallagher. No, I can't. I just working with Paul Weller at the minute. It's very cool. So it is. You know, he's a good guy, and he's a great mentor too as well. He's been through it all, and he was the band manager too as well with his dad. So he looked after it all, and family's his dad. So, but it's been great. The stories is brilliant. You know, it's fun. It is fun. You know, I mean, sometimes everybody says it's bad days and whatever, but it doesn't always rain. You know what I mean? So it's good. So really good stories.
Good stories. I don't know. Probably just going to like the NI Music Prize like awards was absolutely phenomenal. We didn't win anything, but we had like the best time, and we got to meet some amazing people. And everybody was it was so great to see, you know, all the people that you've seen kind of progress throughout the year, all in the one room at once, and everybody's just such in a big high, and everybody's just loving kind of what's going on and enjoying the music. Like Roe was playing, the Woodburn and Savages too were another Derry act as well, left with 2 awards. I think they got the best live act and the best album. So it was great to see. And I mean, they're phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal artists. And we were up the front for all of it, and like, woo, Derry.
Actually, I saw them playing at Hard Working Class Heroes, and Melodian. Oh my God, love them as well. Anyway, oh God, I mean, I think MTV, working in MTV, I was there from 91 to 95 or 6, and again, pre-internet, pre-social media, all that madness. We used to go out and do events around Europe, And one of my best memories, I suppose, was because I represented independent record labels back then in the playlist meeting, so people would harass me to get their video onto MTV, which would have been as powerful as Spotify now, I suppose, trying to get on a Spotify list, or what do they call them? Yeah. So anyway, one of the great jobs I remember doing was I used to work with the marketing departments, and they were launching MTV Italy, and my job was to book the bands. So I had Lenny Kravitz. You know, amazing events. There were no selfies, no photos, nothing to show that it ever happened, but it's in your head. So they were great fun, but on a more practical, down-to-earth 2018 example would be actually, again, trying to bring it back into the room for students and people who are working in the creative industries, you know, going to the events like what you're saying. This is a true story. About 4 years ago, I was walking through Electric Picnic at 2 in the morning, and it was leaving a band to go and see another band. And if any of you have been at Glastonbury or the picnic, rammed, tons of people. And I was walking, and I had a budget in a job I was on to hire a PA. And I was just walking through this sea of people, 2 in the morning, and there were people coming this way, and I just saw this girl working, and she had done some temp work with me on a project a few years before, and as she walked by, I just shouted her name, and I went, "Sophie, what are you doing?" And she kind of walked by, and she said, "I'm looking for work." I said, "Ring me on Monday." And she rang me on Monday, and I hired her, and she worked with me for 2 or 3 years, and that girl is now touring the world with you too.
Wow.
Woo!
So challenges and opportunities. There's loads of opportunities now. Again, if you're young and you know you're passionate about music, there's courses like the college here, the Met in Belfast and stuff like that. Go for them and just absorb it all in. Like, do you know what I mean? The lecturers is great people. They're industry people too as well. You know what I mean? To an extent, and just when you're on the door, stay on the door. You know what I mean? And just practically work there. That's what I done. You know what I mean? You learn here, but you have to go out into the big bad world and, you know, try it for yourself. But there's loads of opportunities from help musicians too as well. Lots of other people too as well. PRS, MRO, everybody, Generator, NI. So.
Yeah, challenges. Just speaking from like a turn point of view. If you're in a band or if you're like an artist and you don't drive, that is just going to be a bit of a nightmare. We all now drive in the band, so it makes it that bit lighter work and stuff. So, you know, Nairi would drive to Limerick one weekend and I would drive to Galway or whatever. But definitely like driving long distances is definitely like a challenge if you're in a touring band. Recording as well, finding the right place to record and saving up enough money to record if you're like a young band can be quite difficult, but then that ties in with like a lot of the opportunities. Like there's a lot of funding out there as well, like Help Musicians, you touched on that as well, offers some great funding schemes. Arts Council, you know, great funding schemes. If you look in the right places, you'll find them. I mean, PRS is fantastic. Like we recently had our first ever PRS payment in a couple of months back, and it was like, wow, we actually have made money today. Woo! So it was really strange to see like those digits in my bank account. That doesn't happen. But
well, for me, I suppose after so many years and trying to reinvent yourself over and over in different ways, and I often say, I'm getting out of music, I need to get a real job. And I go on to these websites and I think I'll just join an agency, and then I kind of get my head ready to do that, and for some reason something that I'll have done 2 years before or a year before opens another opportunity. I go, oh, sure, I'll try this. So, and one organisation is AIM, which is the Association of Independent Music UK. So if you haven't checked them out and you're in music, please do check them out, because I went to a few of those events and that led me to other events, and they're really, really helpful for people, independents, and they're going to be doing more in Ireland, I hope. I think we're on
Yeah,
too
we're
long.
going to have to wrap it up, but you finish off.
Thanks, everybody.
Is that it?
Yep.
Give them a huge round of applause to Mark, Hannah, and Suzanne. Thank you so much. That was absolutely great. Great insight, and well done. I still love to know what a manager does every day. Wow, that was really useful, wasn't it? It was great to see at either end of the spectrum. Okay, we're going to get on with the awards. Woohoo! We're very excited. The awards were judged in early November. Please welcome to the stage Sarah Jones from the charity itself, who's going to be our wonderful assistant today. We were to have the CEO, Simon, unfortunately, he's been struck down with the lurgy and he couldn't get here today, but he sent his best. But Sarah's here in his stead. So the awards were judged in November. We've two of the judges here. We've Dara and David. Dara Neely from Dara Neely Design Works, hello. And David McConnell from Arts Council Northern Ireland. So they're here somewhere. We don't have a follow spot, lots of music. But the judges have been involved. The other judge is Carolyn Mathers from Snowwater. The judges have been involved for several years, and they were once again blown away by the calibre of nominations. They really were. And as a result, we've awarded a number of highly commended awards because it can be so hard to choose. There are certificates for the awards, and we'd ask anybody who's collecting an award to get the certificate at the end of the event, and for all the individuals to join for photographs at the end with all the winners in front of the big banner. So we're not going to do photographs as we go. Please welcome onto the stage our house band for this afternoon, the Northwest Regional College House Band. There they are. Give them a huge round of applause. We're not going to play in any crappy old tracks. We're going to have live music. Okay, and now for the awards. There will be finalists. There'll be highly commended. There'll be the winner. And there'll be comments I'll read out from the judges and possibly a quick interview if people want to say a quick word. Okay, our first award this afternoon is the Northern Ireland Creative Industry Skills Award. And it recognises the promotion of vocational employment pathways and innovative skills development to equip young people for creative employment. It's open to individuals or teams within an organisation who've demonstrated excellence in supporting young talent joining the creative industries. And our finalists this afternoon are David Corskadden from Bauer Academy, Anya Dolan from Grand Opera House, and Shan O'Neill and Charlene Haggerty from the Oh Yeah Music Centre. And in this category, we have a highly commended. The highly commended is Anya Dolan. And the winner is, drumroll, Shan O'Neill and Charlene Haggerty from Oh Yeah Music Centre. Come on up. Woo. Congratulations, congratulations. Which one are you? You're Charlene. Do you want to take a microphone? What does this mean to you? This is Charlene. What does it mean to you to win? Do you want me? Let me just say a little bit about you. Yeah. Charlene and Shan both worked this is what the judges have said, they work very hard to connect with the young people and to sustain their involvement in the projects which train them in all facets of running a live music event. And you're engaged in every part of the process, are you?
Yes. So thank you. I accept this on behalf of myself and Shan and all my colleagues in the OES Centre and our boss, Charlotte, who's sitting down there taking pictures. Let's wave to Charlotte. Has anybody been in the OES Centre before? Can I get you to put your hands up?
Just shout, oh yeah.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
Anybody who hasn't, you're very welcome. Yeah, me and Shan run a few of the initiatives in the OES Centre that are very much targeted at young people. Yeah. And giving them access to opportunities and insight into the actual ways and means that the music industry works. Great. So a lot of our events are made possible and are free to attend, just cutting out the barriers to access for young people. So we work with young people from a range of different backgrounds with different issues, all united in some sense of intrigue or skill in the music industry.
I couldn't have put it better myself. Well done. Thank you so much. And we'll see you afterwards for photographs. Well done. Woohoo. Well done. So our next award this afternoon is the Northern Ireland Creative Tutor Award, and it recognises the important role of tutors and formal education in supporting the development of skills and confidence and creative ambition in young people who are seeking to build a career in these industries. This was a highly competitive category with the greatest number of nominations, many from students themselves, which is a good sign. It's a great testimony to the fantastic creative tutors who are inspiring the next generation of talent, and we've heard Mark and Suzanne both mentioned teachers who really made a huge impact. And if your teacher did, it's always good to go and tell them that they did. So this is one nice way to acknowledge the work that they do. The short list, the finalists are Brian McMahon, Southwest Regional College. Thomas Scott and Alan McCracken from Belfast Metropolitan College. Carrie Logue Houston from Northwest Regional College, the home side, and Peter Ferris from Mercy College. And we have a highly commended in this category, and the highly commended is Carrie Logan Houston from Northwest Regional College. And the winner is Thomas Scott and Alan McCracken from Belfast Met. Congrats. Congratulations. That's very short little music. Give us more. I'd rather have the music and the guys could dance, couldn't you?
I could try.
So who's who?
I'm on.
Alan and Thomas. So Thomas and Alan went above and beyond this year to enhance their course and their students' experience by setting up excellent placements, film festival opportunities, and arranged for a number of modules to be linked to live projects. So what does the award mean for you?
Well, for me personally, it means a lot. I came from an HND and my creative media lectures at the time. The fellow on the course, a fellow called Joe McKinney, if anyone knows him, who's unfortunately passed away now. He helped me an awful lot develop my career, and now I've kind of taken his job role, which is really nice, and what he did for me as a student, I'm kind of giving the students as well. So that's what it means for me personally. For Thomas, it might be something different.
Yeah, the same.
Thomas wants to get up and sing karaoke.
I noticed he grabbed
Take it
the
away,
award
guys.
before I could get a go at it. I said to Alan when he started in the college, some of our students, including Ryan, who's sitting here, are incredible. We have great students, and we can't do what we do without students. So the entire panel said the same thing earlier. We create a lot of opportunities for our students, but some of them don't grab it. Ryan is one that did, and he's already won, 2 awards this year. So I'd like to thank the students, because I don't think we've thanked the students yet tonight, have we? Yeah.
Well, we'll thank them now. Thank you to the students, and thank you guys. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. It's a total love-in today. Okay, our third award is for Creative Industry and Education Partnership Award. The Northern Ireland, this award recognises the innovative partnership projects between education and industry, and that's really where we're coming together a lot here today in this interface, as we say. These developments that support the development of skills, confidence and creative ambition in young people seeking to build a career in the industry. And our finalists in this award are Claire Skelton, Prince's Trust, and David Corskadden, Bar Academy, all in one. Patricia Dixon and Fashion Team, Belfast Metropolitan College, and Jane McCann from Linen Biennale. And the pairing for the last finalists is Julie Ferguson from Belfast Met and Gwyneth Cockcroft from Tato. Highly commended in this category are Julie Ferguson and Gwyneth Cockcroft from Tato. And our winning partnership in this category this afternoon is Claire Skelton from Prince's Trust with David Corskadden from Bar Academy. Congratulations. There you go. There's the award. And there's a little microphone. Congratulations. Are you getting one each? Oh, these are 2 are getting one each. Congratulations. Here's a microphone if you'd like to I'll tell you what the judges have said, that the Princess Trust and Bar, so your Princess Trust, yeah. Your Bar Academy. Yeah, I worked that one out. All on my own. The Princess Trust and Bar Academy have jointly run 5 Get Started programs for unemployed young people between the ages of 16 and 24 over the last 3 years. And they collaborated to create these exciting, fast-paced, innovative week-long work program based on media and radio. So that's what you've been doing. What does the award do for you?
It's just good. It really recognises how hard we work with young people. The programmes we run are quite short. You said they're 5 days, so it's quite intensive. And we've worked kind of over the last couple of years creating a partnership to make these programmes really good. And since that information, we had another programme just 2 weeks ago that went really well with another 10 young people doing a media programme. And it's just nice for it to be recognised in the work we do. And although we just do a 5-day programme with young people, the Princess Trust then work with them after. Yeah. So they gain a lot from Bar Academy in that week, and then we work with them after to try and help them get into education, training or employment. What do you, can I ask you, what do you, I mean, I can imagine that it's wonderful to see young people over the course of getting hands-on experience over a week even, blossoming. Is that what makes it great?
Well, yeah, I mean, they just come to life. I mean, most young people that are working with the Princess Trust would have multiple barriers, perhaps. Yeah. And what we try to do is work with the Princess Trust to show them that the skills that they do have meaning, and they can go somewhere with them. So although we just may be igniting a flame for those that do pick up the mantle, and to echo what everyone else is saying, you kind of need to start further down the tree. You need to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity, because what we find is that most young people do have a creative spark somewhere within them, and it's just that search and helping them realize what it is and then pointing them in the right direction, and that's kind of what we've collaborated on. And I mean, your results speak for themselves. Over 3/4, 77% have gone on to further education, training or employment. So it's clearly a great winning partnership, so thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Okay. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. I think I was even speaking to Suzanne myself at the grand age of 54 and telling her that what I really need for my newest work is someone to champion it. You know, you can talk about being self-employed, but you're never self-employed. Somebody has to employ you, no matter what you do, if you want to make a living at this. So having a champion, somebody else who looks at your stuff and says, this is worth hearing or seeing or whatever, is always fantastic. And we've all got huge talent inside us. It's what we're born with. We are little babies inside who just want to be self-expressed, and it's only all the learned crap that stops us doing that as we get older. So stick to your creative core. Okay, we're going to have a little break now with a show reel. It's a short film which is going to showcase work being produced by HND film and TV students at Belfast Met. Some of the students whose work is featured are nominated today, as are the tutors involved in their courses. And look out in the middle of it for a short film called Just a Normal Irish Story, which beat fierce competition to take home the Best Homegrown Fiction Award at the Sleeping Giants Film Festival in July. So let's have a look.
What is humanity's most beautiful flaw?
I just got more drawn to what was going on in the back where the designers and fabricators were, and I just sort of veered off into doing studio art.
What's your favorite type of like horror, subgenre? Would it be slasher, psychological?
Like most of them, I'm quite eclectic taste, but I do like a good slasher film.
The two brothers decided if letting the Whistler come was a good idea.
You guys are up next. These are up next.
The three companions continued on with their journey.
Where is he? Someone's playing games right here. I'm not playing games. They tell me where he is.
You're up.
With your hair so long, your heart so big, your mind so smart. Where do I start?
You can't shoot your way out of this one, Frank.
Who said anything about shooting?
That's the end of it.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to be here today to celebrate the success of such a wide range of individuals in the creative sector. I know a lot of you very well, but it is a new experience to be speaking to you from the front like this, so thank you for having me. Recognise the skills, training, hard work and commitment that is poured into making the creative industries in Northern Ireland great. The awards have gone from strength to strength and demonstrated year on year what a wealth of talent we have here to celebrate. The work that Creative and Cultural Skills does is founded on the mission to support and encourage that talent. We want to create opportunities for young people to work and learn in the creative industries and ensure that we are developing pathways for that talent to be discovered and given a chance to shine. For the past 3 years, the Northern Ireland Creative Employment Programme has been at the heart of that. Initiated by the Arts Council of Northern Ireland through their National Lottery funding, we aim to create fair, transparent and most importantly paid, which has been touched on today, jobs for young people looking to build a career in the creative sector. The programme has been a genuine collaboration between funders and facing those people trying to get into the sector and change the opportunities available to young people. I'd like to show you a short film which encapsulates the programme and shows what is meant for those who've been involved, a lot more eloquently than I will do it.
I did music technology and sonic arts in Queen's, and I had a real kind of interest in arts management, but I also wanted to be kind of more music targeted, so whenever I saw the advertisement for music management, it was the perfect combination I could ask for.
Francesca's been brilliant. She's actually recruited her own act because we thought that the best way for her to learn was to actually
get the opportunity to manage my own band, something I didn't think I would be able to do, and definitely being able to manage Beauty Sleep has been the best learning curve for me. Definitely it's been the most challenging and definitely the most enjoyable.
It's so important to think that for anyone that has an interest in the arts in Northern Ireland, that even if you have a degree or other experience as a young person, it's really, really hard to kind of get your first foot on the ladder.
To be able to give people a living from it, to be able to bring jobs to Limavady in particular, our hometown, yeah, it's a real boost for us.
I think it's important for organisations like ourselves to be investing in young people and giving them opportunities to increase their skills, because really they're the next generation, they're the next cultural leaders.
The Black Box is an alternative arts venue and performance space. We are a small arts organisation, so our resources are quite stretched. So having an extra person there to help with things just makes such a massive difference. And Holly has been a really great asset to the organisation, and also coming into the organisation as a young person is really beneficial to us because she has that connection and voice of a younger audience, which is really important for us to keep in touch with.
It was kind of daunting at the start. It was brand new to me, but everyone here, like as soon as I started, was so welcoming, and all the different festivals and organisations that we work with, you know, learning more about them as well as the Black Box, it's just been amazing.
This past 6 months really we're thrown into the deep end, and you know, we're doing it rather than learning about it. It's definitely taught me the skills that I could adapt and move on somewhere else if I needed to.
Having the time, basically Monday to Thursday, 9 to 5, to really delve into what I love to do and to do what I love all the time, that's really, really valuable to me.
Aaron and Sarah Jane have made a huge difference to our social media presence. Our Real Road Session series, which captures musicians playing their original music and covers as well on the street in different venues across Northern Ireland, So they've really taken that from pilot stage to a stage now where we're getting approached by labels, different venues and musicians from all over the UK saying, can we take part in it?
My initial goal was I want to develop my skills to more of a professional level. I've actually been like in charge of a whole stage where if there is a problem, it's my call.
To see how they came in with enthusiasm and how that enthusiasm has become solidified in a way and has become professional attitude to their work and professionalism in a way. That's really, really wonderful to see. They've grown, really grown within the year and a half that most of them are here with us now, and I'm very proud of that, I have to say.
Recruitment process. But unlike other jobs, those applying were not ruled out because they didn't have 2 years experience. The whole point of them was that the young people would learn on the job and learn alongside industry professionals. For young people, it was a chance to get that all-important formative work experience, their first break, which would help them to start to build a career in the sector. In terms of value for investment, the economics also stack up. The funding committed by the Arts Council was nearly trebled by industry as they stepped up to pay new wages, showing what a difference a small amount of investment really can make. The creative sector is more than willing to nurture future talent, and we see that all the time with all the programmes which are highlighted today, and they want to do so fairly. But in order to do that in a sustainable way, we need further ongoing support and strategic investment. Investing in young talent grows capacity, not just for young single businesses, but for the whole sector. The creative industries are hugely interconnected and interdependent across industries and projects, and a pool of talent feeds into all elements of this. As we look at the effects of this programme, we want to see the clear paths into the industry through apprenticeships and paid internships, which have been opened up by the Creative Employment Programme, available to any passionate school child or student in the future. This programme has offered the opportunity to 89 young people to build their experience and get their break, but there are many, many more talented young people out there. The programme also enabled us to work with both the Department for Economy and Belfast Met to establish a pilot creative apprenticeship programme. Before this programme, there were no creative apprentices in Northern Ireland, not a single one. While internships offer the opportunity for experience in industry, apprenticeships are a formal route to work-based learning where young people not only get experience on the job, but a qualification. In an industry where our workforce can often be overqualified, yet underskilled, apprenticeships offer a professional, accredited route into and through our sector, which are open to all. Our apprenticeships through this programme were 2 years long, a substantial commitment for the young person employer, and is testament to the collaborative work of all the partners involved, ourselves, Belfast Met, the industry and the young people, that we now have apprentices who have completed their apprenticeships in technical theatre, community arts, live events and business admin. I'd really like to take this opportunity to celebrate the apprentices who have now completed. So I'll read them all and we can give them a round of applause even though they're not here at the end. Edward Horner and Guy Reid from PSI, Emma Wilson from Cahoots NI, Tim Whittaker from Forfey, Danielle Wilson from Sticky Fingers, and Anna Trainer from Dylan Quinn Dance. A massive congratulations to them. It's absolutely no small achievement. Woo! We've learned a lot about apprenticeships in the past 3 years. Challenging, some things. And we look forward to working closely with the Department for Economy, our college partners Belfast Met and North West Regional College, as part of the upcoming review of apprenticeships in Northern Ireland to share what we've learned and to ensure that all future apprenticeships are relevant. Apprenticeships offer a transparent route into the sector and we will continue to advocate for them, building on the momentum of understanding and demand from young people brought about by the Northern Ireland Creative Employment Programme. As we reach the end of the programme, we will be publishing a formal evaluation report about the impact which it has had in June 2019. And today I'd like to officially launch our new Northern Ireland Creative Employment Hub, which can be accessed through our website. This will be a collation of all the films, case studies, opinion pieces, and the evaluation from the past 3 years. We already have some case studies of the young people involved and the films up there. Around us today, you can see here, and I hope on the screen, though I can't see it, you can see the beginning of a series of portraits of those who have been involved in the programme taken by Simon Mills. And by June 19, the Hub will be a snapshot and celebration of what the Northern Ireland Creative Employment Programme has achieved, with the voice of funders, industry and young people detailing what an impact the programme has had. I've already discussed the economic impact, and initial feedback from employers shows that employing young people through this programme gave them greater capacity, introduced new skills into the business and made them consider their recruitment policy. There's a demand for a similar programme to be continued, and we very much hope that can be possible. The effect that the programme has had on many of the young people involved is striking. Taking the example of Emma Wilson, who before her apprenticeship worked in a department store, but by the end of her apprenticeship with Cahoots NI, she was confirmed as their creative engagement manager. On the completion of their apprenticeships with PSI, Ed Horner and Guy Reid continue to work for them, and Tim Whitaker is working as a freelance sound engineer, and the list goes on. The story is also the same for interns. Francesca O'Connor, who was shown in the film there, started a 6-month internship with Champion Sound Music and is now their assistant manager. Aoife Lyons, pictured over here on your right, was an intern at the Verbal Arts Centre and is now their psychology manager. This is the real and defining impact of this programme, the difference it has made to the lives and careers of the young people involved. Personally, it has been an absolute privilege to be part of a programme which has allowed so many talented and ambitious young people to get their first break into the creative sector. All they needed was an opportunity to show what they could do. Providing fair, transparent and paid roles for young people and clear routes into the sector benefits everyone. That is the overarching success of the Northern Ireland Creative Employment Programme and what should be widely and loudly celebrated. Thank you very much.
Woo. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, please welcome to the stage. We're going to hear from 3 people who have broken in and have got their first step on the ladder. Please welcome Matthew McCracken, Tomala White and Sarah Smith. Move that over there. Keep the applause going. It's really crap to have to walk up in silence. Woohoo, woohoo, woohoo! Sarah, Tomala, and Matthew. So you're all very welcome. I haven't said anything about you because I'd like you to introduce yourselves. We've got 2 mics if you want to take one of those. Sarah, are you happy to go ahead? Just tell us a little bit who you are and what you do briefly.
Hi, I'm Sarah Smith. I'm a practicing visual artist studying my MFA in Belfast at Ulster University.
What's an MFA?
Masters in Fine Art.
Thank you.
And I'm also employed by Creative and Cultural Industries as an artist mentor on the 1418 project here at Northwest Regional College, working with students level 3 and foundation on the project to Make Art Not War. So that's a wonderful project to be involved in, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's great. Okay, thank you. There's another mic. You can take that one. Thank you, Sarah. Yes, Tomala?
So I'm Tamla. I just finished my HND here at Northwest Regional College, but throughout my time at the college, I've been doing freelance advertisements and projects and helping out with anything I can. So now I'm in 2nd year, transfer straight on Cinematic Arts in Magee. Working in the Nerve Centre. I'm a mentor in there for the British Film Institute Academy, and I absolutely love it. I just love the passion that the kids have on there, even though I'm not that much older than them, but still good, like.
Even though what did you say?
I'm not that much older.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, you're pretty young yourself.
But at the minute, I'm in the transition stage from just doing the client work and doing advertisements to going on to television and film. I'm currently writing a feature length, and I'm working on 2 short films at the minute. And I'm just exploring all the different avenues and routes, from distribution, the film circuit, production, everything.
And you're getting a chance to do all those things?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Another bow. No, what is it? Another string to your bow.
Large what?
Another string to your bow.
Yes, yes. It's okay. We can show that. Yes, thank you.
I'm Matthew. I started studying here, music, my HND first. 3 years ago maybe now, when I finished. And then I went over to Leeds and I finished my Masters at the College of Music over there. And I've now returned home and I'm basically just doing freelancing at the minute. So I'm a kind of I always struggle to kind of what way to describe it. I'm a writer for hire pretty much, so anything that needs music, I'll do it. So it could be film, theatre. I've even done dance and stuff for Kerry as well, and things like that. So whatever's needed, really, I'll kind of write music for. So, and then just a bit of teaching and some doing some music groups with charities and stuff as well on the side. So.
Wow, so you're busy. Great. A great range of things that you're doing, and very highly qualified, all these masters coming out of you. If we can go back to you, Sarah, just tell us a little bit about what was your original passion or motivation for pursuing the career that you've done. I mean, you're at school, you're growing up, what was it that kind of, was there anything that made you think, this is what I want to do?
Well, my real sort of inspiration came when I began my HND at Northwest Regional College. I've always been an artist as such. I've always drawn, I've always painted. And when I came to Northwest Regional College, I was absolutely sure that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to paint. I was going to paint. And how ignorant was I? Because I learned at Northwest Regional College the potential of what I could do and what I wanted to do by learning to practice in other media. And I've just enjoyed.
What is your media?
At the moment I'm working with performance art and video installation. So you couldn't get further away from painting, and I haven't actually painted much since I've discovered.
So what was it here that got you? I mean, was it because you hadn't been around? You know, you hadn't seen what was possible?
I think I wasn't exposed to it enough in school, and I wasn't really aware that I could be that, that I could break into that, or that I was even capable
And
of working.
Was there a feeling of fitting when it really fitted, like you're coming home or to yourself kind of a feeling?
Absolutely. It was affirmation. Absolutely, yeah. It was, my inspiration definitely came during my studies here, and it's just grown and grown since. When I graduated from Northwest Regional College in 2017 on the HND, I went straight on to do, into third year to do my degree at Ulster University in Belfast, and straight from there on to my master's, which is where I'm in my second year now.
So your heart is singing the whole time.
But this project's actually working with students at the Northwest Regional College. What I want to do is to lecture or to mentor. And so when my first day, I remember I was very, very nervous, and I thought, I'm a shy person by nature, but when I'm doing what I do, it all sort of, it flows, it feels natural, it comes naturally to me. And I prepared a talk for about 20 minutes long, and I thought, these students are going to have to listen to me rambling on for 20 minutes, so I'll be snappy and I'll get through it. And they said, actually, when I started my presentation, they said, slow down, and they started asking me questions, and the talk went on for an hour and a half.
Wow.
And I felt afterwards, I thought, that was wonderful to just engage with these students, and I thought, this is what I want to do, and I love this.
Great.
I could do this
Forever.
Yeah.
Wonderful. What was, Tomla, was there anything that you could say was your big motivation to get into this?
My big motivation is my father. He went to National Film School over in London and always grew up watching films, just loved it. I was always interested in how they done it and why they done it and why they done certain things. So always wanted to be a director because I thought the director would know all that. So I came into the college and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to have to learn my craft. I'm going to have to go back and learn everything. Camera operator, sound recordist, anything from pre-production to post-production, I try my hand at. And it just clicks with me. You know, I'm just so passionate about it. Like,
Is there one discipline that you like above all, or is it all of them?
do you know what I enjoy the most is when you click with someone. If you're working with someone that's very passionate about it, there's just good vibes all around, and it's really motivating. But I'd be happy enough doing. I could be the director on there, I could be the sound recordist, I could be the camera operator. I'm just happy to be here. Do you know what I mean?
If you work for the BBC, you'll be doing all of those. It used to be a 4-man crew, and now it's one guy turns up. But it's great. Well, your passion is shining out of you. What about you, Matthew? Is there anything that you would say was your original passion that got you into doing what you do?
I'm probably what you would have called a bedroom musician. I just used to write songs in my bedroom. and I was terrified about the idea of anyone hearing them and stuff like that. So, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I just liked writing songs, and then I came here, and I realized that it wasn't just songs I liked writing; it was writing music in general, just writing for anything. So, doing.
What's your instruments? What instruments?
I'm a piano player mainly. So it was pop songs and stuff, but then doing different modules like film music with Ronan and things like that kind of opened my eyes to where I can kind of put my creative input in. So film music, and then getting an opportunity to write for some of the theatre shows that were going on here and stuff like that. And then I kind of just realised that I just kind of take pride in any little thing that I get to do in that sense. And then writing for dance for Kerry and stuff like that. So that's where I kind of realised that there was just lots of opportunities all over the place for writing. Yeah. And I wasn't aware of that until I came here first, and that just kind of opened my eyes to it. So ever since, I don't like to kind of tie myself down to one platform too much. I think I'm a little too nosy. I like to get my nose in everywhere and see how you do different things. So, so that's probably the reason I kind of do a bit of a host of different types of writing. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's a real common theme that it is this sort of inside, the passion inside you that maybe is a little bit unformed, but you're drawn to something. We're all drawn to something. We're all creative people. It's just wonderful to hear you getting that stimulation. That sounds like the college, the education partnership gives you. I think we suffer sometimes from poverty of imagination. We can't dream it because we don't know it's possible to dream it. And then when somebody speaks your language, it's like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is what I want to do. Where have you been all my life? So that is really fantastic, and these schemes are just fantastic. We've heard from the earlier panel about the ups and downs. Have you been at this long enough? We'll come back to you. We'll just go around long enough to have any downs, or has it all been ups? And if there are any, give us a flavour.
I'll admit I've been very fortunate. The only downs at the moment for me is travelling between work, and I commute from Oma to university in Belfast and into my job in Derry, Limavady, so I spend a lot of time on the bus.
Yeah.
But honestly, I've been very lucky. A lot of the work that I've gotten has come through university or through college or the people I've met and networking. So
yeah, I mean, how did you make that? That's sort of what we're interested. How did you make the shift, all of you, from studying to actually working? Was there one particular thing? Did you apply for something, or were you sort of selected and plucked out of the ether?
It started out being selected and plucked out, as you say, but you become aware that you have to keep on top of things. You have to keep going to exhibitions. You have to keep shaking hands. You have to keep being interested and supporting your community in the art world as well, because that's how you gain support from them. If you're supportive, if you're interested, then they're interested. So you just sort of get used to saying, yes, I'm going to do this. I'm going to visit this, and I'm going to meet these people, and I'm going to try this new thing that I haven't done before. And
scare yourself.
Yeah. But it's important for progress. In order to continue on, you need to try new things.
Yeah. What would you say, Tomla? I mean, what was the sort of shift from just education to actually working? I know you touched on it earlier, but how did you suddenly start when the work that you're doing? Were you asked to do it? Did you apply?
I just said yes, all the opportunities. I done so much free work. Like, I don't think people realise what they have in front of them when they're at the college. There's so much opportunity, and there's times you don't even need to ask for help. If you're struggling with something, people are watching you, like they said in the last panel. People are watching you. People are going to talk about you before you go, But I done loads of free work, done the odd paid job, and then I started working alongside with my father. A wee small local company called APM Marketing and Filmmakers, which was predominantly event coverage, advertisements, short videos for online platforms, pretty much anything. I would say I'm a pure yes man, But I feel like it's just all falling into place. It's all coming together, and everything's just meant to be, because I've taken on them opportunities and I've always left the door open.
Well, I think that's a big thing to say. There is something about the lucky break, but there's putting yourself in the path of the lucky break.
you know, one big tendency. I know for myself as a writer and a performer, when I'm not busy, I can spiral very quickly in the house into depression and thinking, if they're not banging on my door, you know, if I was any good, they'd be knocking on my door. If they're not knocking on my door, it means I'm not good enough. And it's taken me to my 40s really to cop on that that's not true. You just have to keep putting yourself out there. And I mean, we all get fed up at times with being asked to do stuff for nothing. You know, as we always say, if your plumber comes to do a job in your house and you say to him at the end, here mate, how about I don't give you money? You know, I'll tell all my friends what a great plumber you are. It'll be really good for your CV. He'll say, aye, thanks very much, give me the money. But in our creative industry, there can be a sense that if you love doing it, you'll do it anyway. And we all know about the funding situation is pretty dire here in terms of what the Arts Council can support. But what I keep hearing, and I'm sure you're the same, you'll have noticed if you've ever had to mentor other people, that it's the qualities in a person that stand out, isn't it? You know, Matthew just even asked you about that. I mean, you moved into being paid, but presumably you've had to put yourself in the path of good luck and good fortune.
Yeah, you've got to be prepared to be exploited a little at the start, as kind of terrible as it is. It's important that they know that. I think in most industries there's like a clear distinction. You study, you get qualified, and then you start working. But in the creative industries, you can, you know, the working starts while you're studying. It doesn't have to be one or the other. And what I kind of found was being here, much like Tomla, I was a yes man. I just said yes to all the projects. But I love doing it. It got stressful at times, but I love doing it. And some of because you have to build up a show reel when you're a creative, you have to be able to show what you've been a part of and what you've done. Yeah. And some of the stuff I've done for free with the college are more important to my show reel than some of the things I've been paid for. So I would show them first, and some of the kind of free projects have led to paid projects and things like that. So it's every bit as important. But yeah, and I think having the right attitude, as you said as well, I think someone said earlier, I can't remember who said, maybe Mark, about it being like 10% talent, and I kind of agree with that in a lot of ways. I think like it's more about the attitude, and because I've been in a position now where I've had to pay people for projects that I'm doing, I hire them based on whether I know I can work with them or not as well, and any past experience I would have had with them. You're better than the kind of devil you know as well.
You probably couldn't overestimate that. I mean, in all the productions I've been in, it's incredible. You can get 10 people with great talent, but the people who make your life easier and simpler and who you can have a bit of crack with, and who that really stands you in good stead. So keep a smile. Fake it if you're not feeling like it. Get your Friday afternoon face on, even if it's a Monday morning. So in terms of mentors and people that you've met along the way, you've obviously spoken about your dad. Has there been anybody in particular for you, Sarah, that any people like that have helped you hugely?
Honestly, all of the lecturers that I've had at the college and at the university have been so supportive of me and given me the confidence to do what I'm doing now, where I had very little before. I now feel capable and that I can do what I do, and I'm very, very grateful to all of them for that, honestly.
It is so important, isn't it, to have a champion or somebody who sees you the way you want to be seen in life generally, as well as creatively. Have you any sort of favourite stories, any unusual challenges, anything that's happened that you think is a good bit of a story for us?
Oh goodness, just stories, maybe not stories so much as just what I'm doing every day. I'm so involved in it. I'm just so wrapped up in it. You say about making a break. It's to me, it's less of making a break so much as it's just enjoying absolutely everything I do and keep making the work and keep being involved and keep saying yes. And so keep. Well, that is huge, yes. To have a love for what you do, you'll do it a lot more easily, and you'll stay up late and hawk things around and do the hard work if you're getting some sort of a buzz out of it. What about any of the others? Have you any sort of favourite stories or unusual challenges?
Well, is this in regards to mentors and stuff, was it? Or?
Well, even just generally in what you've been doing. Certainly talk us about your mentor if you have one.
Yeah, well, one thing that I think the creative industries is filled with some of those amazing and talented people you ever come across, but it's also filled with some of the biggest egos and stuff, unfortunately. And you've got to become a people person. You've got to become someone who works well with people. So the horror stories I've come across were really kind of difficulties in collaboration with people, because it's a collaborative environment, and it's all about working well with others, and you're going to come across people who are just not easy to work with, but they might be a good opportunity for you, or they might be able to provide something in the future. So
are you
you've
going
just
to name
got
any
to
names today?
No, but yeah, you'll come across them all the time. It's unfortunate, it is. I mean, but yeah, it's all about kind of working well with others and stuff like that. And I think if you can kind of, I know they always say like growing a thick skin, but I think it's more about kind of developing a different attitude. So instead of just deflecting the things, it's more about taking them on board and learning from them and things like that. So,
how very mature you all are. Have you never told somebody where to shove it? Yeah. Can you share one of your stories now? What's your, Tamla, what about you? Have you any sort of unusual challenges or any favourite projects?
I have loads of favourite projects and loads of challenges. I think as a creative, I was at a conference there last month, and something clicked with me. A lot of creatives don't look after themselves as well as they should.
Do you mean physically or mentally?
Like, it all ties into one. Do you know what I mean? If you're not looking after yourself physically, you're not going to be well mentally or socially. And I think what Matthew was saying about the thick skin.
Yeah.
I tried that, right? And everybody just thought I was a bitch. Everybody thought I was so unapproachable. And see, to be honest,
you're a pussycat.
Oh, I am. But then again, I have another side. But I'm not always like that. But sometimes that can be difficult if you're walking into a group of people and you think, right, they all think I'm this person. I'm going to have to put this face on, like, because I always say, fake it till you make it. And I was actually really surprised when they were like, oh, talk about your break. And I was like, what? Because usually I just go ahead, on to the next thing, on to the next thing, and on the next thing. I just keep going. Everything I do, I learn from. And sometimes you do just need to sit down and stop and look at what you're doing and make sure that you're okay before you move on to the next thing.
Yeah, that's a good point that you raise about the what face do you present, especially when you're younger. I take my hat off to people your age who are doing stuff so brilliantly, without a massive, long life experience behind you. It took me many years to feel that I deserved anything and then present myself to people not as this needy little kid going, please give me something, because a big thing I learned, I used to do a TV show and I had a character called Hilary Hamilton of Hollywood, who's from Cultraw. Do you know North Down, Cultraw? Lovely part of the world. And it comes from the old Irish Cultraw, which means we're richer than you. But I was standing filming, I skipped with her. This is going to have a point to it eventually. Bear with me. It's pretty core, I think, to what we all need to have in our lives, which is a sense of what is possible for us. But it was a real light bulb moment, somebody mentioned earlier, a real epiphany for me. So I was standing in Forestside Shopping Centre doing Hilary, being filmed, and it was the second series, so the public had seen the characters and they knew who it was. And I was wearing a blonde wig, for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about. Blonde short hair, golfing visor, gold gilet, sleeveless jacket, massive rings, pearl earrings, very posh lady, Pringle jumper and golfing gear. And she's awfully. So all these people start coming over and talking to me, and they're going, oh, Hilary, oh, like that. And I'm responding like this. And I had one of those moments where I thought, God, if I grew my hair like this and dressed like this and spoke like this and wore the pearls, would I be Hilary Hamilton of Hollywood? And I thought, well, what are you? Are you what you think you are inside? We talk about the real me who stands in the bedroom performing. And if they saw the real me, they'd hate me. Or are you what other people think you are? And it took me a long time to realize, well, you're all of those things. We all have so many different facets available to us, which is the exciting thing. We've all these different acts that we can be. And I think the faking it, my therapist, I went to psychotherapy for 6.5 years, saved my life, I have to say. But she used to say to me, treat yourself as if you're an important person. How would an important person be treated? Treat yourself that way. And the irony or the exciting thing about that is when you're good with yourself, people relax around you. And when you treat yourself well, suddenly everything starts to work in your life. It's really quite amazing. So I know you're starting out, a lot of you are starting out, but I would say if you listen to what people here are saying, they're talking about their passion. And if you focus on that, I mean, would you say that focusing on what you do, you sort of have said that is what's going to come across to people, and not as much worrying about how you come across, just being true to yourself? Would you say that
That's definitely where I'm heading. I'm still struggling with it, like
Oh, yeah.
everyone is, but I've noticed, see, whenever I'm on game, I'm focused and I'm just having a laugh, I absolutely smash it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you're completely right. I can't.
Well, it's like being in the zone, you know, energy wants to go to where good energy is, and if you're smiling, people, now you're going to have to put up with a lot of this. Cue, like right now, you're all sitting going, You gotta just power ahead. What would you say are the challenges for people starting out, or the opportunities and the challenges for young people? If you could give anybody here some advice, if they're sitting there with something they're not sure what they want to do, is there any advice you would give them from the lofty heights of where you are?
Not sure about that. Yeah, I think just coming back to the obstacles thing for a second, because this does tie into this. One of the biggest obstacles was actually myself.
Yeah.
I can't do this. I'm not able to do this. Like, why should I try to do this? You know.
Yeah.
And a lot of my work has looked at compulsive behaviors and behavior, neurosis, and that kind of thing. And I used to be one of these meticulous people who everything had to be just so all the time.
Control freak.
Absolutely. In my own work, like everything, one story I did have, just coming back to that, this was on the HND. My first year was basically, my space was my desk. It had my pencils, my sketchbook, whatever else I was working on, sort of contextual references, whatever, all lined up nicely on the desk. By the end of the second year, I had moss growing out of the sort of trees and hessian I've been working with in installation work or whatnot, and my space was an absolute mess. I was sort of crawling around trying to get things done, and one of the other students came up to me, a friend, and she said it. She meant it so genuinely, but if it had come from anyone else, I would have thought, what?
Yeah.
She said, Sarah, I'm so proud of you. Last year you were so tidy and everything just had to be so perfect, and now look at you. You've made such a mess. You've expanded into her space and all the rest of it. I thought about it, and I thought, actually, you know,
it's good.
Just
You let yourself go. Yeah.
Letting loose. My advice would just be to keep believing in yourself, but to everyone you meet, trying to nurture that positive relationship and to be that yes person. And believe that you can be that person that you want to be. That's my advice.
Yes, I can.
Yes.
That's great. Well, I'm glad you're a messy cow now.
Absolutely.
I'm worse. My friend said to me one night on a dance floor, did you actually tidy the dance floor? There was some bits of pink feather boa. It was a 1980s night, and there was some pink feather boa, fluffy bits lying over there. We were dancing without realising I had danced over and kind of brushed them off. She would stop fucking tidying the dance floor because I can't help it. Anyway, that's enough of my OCDs. What advice would either of you give to somebody coming in? Would you echo what Sarah says, Matthew, or would you have any other thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, well, you'll always hear the word networking. It's really important. I think when I was younger, I used to think that meant going to network events and stuff like that. But what I've kind of done was networking through just getting involved, through saying yes. So networking through projects, and you kind of meet people that way, because someone always knows someone who knows someone. And a lot of the kind of projects I've fallen into now have just been, oh yeah, he worked with me on that, and I would recommend him and that kind of thing. And in regards to getting involved in these projects, you don't always have to, because you have to get the experience to begin with. So you don't always have to have had the previous experience in that project. I've said yes to so many things that I didn't know how to do. And that night then, we talked about this before, didn't we? That night spent learning how to do that project, because you've kind of bluffed your way through it.
Yeah, say yes and then learn how to do it.
I think you have to sincerely bluff your way through things. Like, don't say yes to things that you don't think you've got any chance of doing. But if you think, I'm going to say yes because it's going to encourage me to learn how to do this and stuff, then go for it. And it's all about coming across the right way, and as we said, professional and stuff like that, and how would you want people to see you and things like that. So even if you're unconfident about a project, give it a go anyway, and you'll surprise yourself. You'll always kind of come out on top of it and stuff. So
we could all be president of the United States right now. We'd make a better job. And finally, Tamala, have you anything you'd like to give, advice you would give anybody who's wondering how they get into something or wondering what they can do with their own talent?
Just do it.
Hey,
Just
that sounds
do
like
it.
a slogan.
Oh, it's copyrighted, isn't it?
I think that one's been copyrighted.
No, but like, there's a lot of stigma in Derry, especially. Like, oh, there's nothing up here. They don't make films up here. Oh, finally, Derry girls. There's so many talented people in this town. Like,
lots of opportunities too. Lots.
definitely, get out there and work with people.
Yeah.
We were sitting down there at that table and we were like, I feel a collaboration coming on. Didn't even know each other 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Just do it.
It's not what you're given, it's what you do with what you've got. Well, listen, I think that has been very inspiring. Thank you so much to Matthew, Tamala and Sarah, and happy days, and good luck with all that you're going to do in the future. Thank you so very much indeed. Look forward to seeing your collaboration in the future. Is this a new tat you've got?
Yes, I am.
Or do you wrap all your tats in cling film to keep them nice? Did Sarah do that for you? Here, put a wee bit of cling on that there, love. Keep that nice and fresh. That was great. So is everybody inspired? He's all going to go out and do massive, incredible things. Great. I just really need to go to the loo, but we're going to have to keep going here. All right. We're going to have our last 3 awards of the afternoon. What's that? Oh, yes, sorry, I beg your pardon. Before we go into the last 3 awards, we have another show reel. This is, well, it's not actually a show reel. It's a film which was made by college students, and it has been made with the BBC and put out through the BBC. So let's have a little look at this video, and we'll be back with the awards.
Close your eyes, am I No, don't mind what she can't find if it's alright with you. I wanna help you out. Though your feet don't move, she is dragging you right by her side. I know it's all you want, she is all you want, isn't she? It's not up to me, it is up to her and what she believes. Close your eyes, am I
What's CCS? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Are you true or are you flawed? Far out in the future. The smoke is sticking, itching, it's your hand I want to hold. It takes the poison away.
Wow. Was nobody else up headbanging? I wanted a headbang. That was done by the students here. It was shot by the media students, and the sound was done by the sound students here from the Northwest Regional College. So absolutely fantastic. Give them another round of applause. And who knows the band name? Barn Owl. Foreign Owl. Oh, wow, very good. I like the guy's style. He was sort of half Sandy Shaw, half, headscarf. That was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And are the band based here? Oh, they're great. They're great stuff. Great stuff. Okay, well, this is exciting stuff. So we are gonna go on with the last 3 awards of the afternoon. Welcome back to Sarah, who just sneaks out behind me. So we're going to go into Student of the Year Award. It's open to young people studying in the creative industries who've shown exceptional ambition, talent and entrepreneurship in 2017. Oh yes, welcome back, our house band. Were any of you in that band? No? No. Have you got a collective name? Do you want to come up with one right now? No? Okay, these guys are called No-No. They're not a big no-no, they're just an average size. Okay, well, we have 4 finalists this afternoon in the Student of the Year Award, very prestigious award. So, in no particular order, our finalists are Ryan Rafferty from Belfast Metropolitan College. Woo! Stacey Burns from Belfast Metropolitan College. Ben Graham from Northwest Regional College. And Ethan Kelly from Northwest Regional College. The judges insisted that we say this category was a very tightly fought contest. All 4 students were incredible in their determination, professionalism and their foresight in making the links between their education and industry. So as a result, there are 2 highly commended awards. So the highly commended are Ryan Rafferty from Belfast Met. And Stacey Burns from Belfast Met. And the winner, is that it? The winner, therefore, this afternoon is... We do need a wee drum roll. Give us a wee drum roll. Ethan Kelly! Woo! Come on down, Ethan! Congratulations, Ethan. There's your award. Would you like to pick up a mic? And Ethan has just graduated, impressed his tutors with your commitment and your attitude. So what is the award? Why do you think you won it? What did you get it for?
To be honest with you, I'd say I annoyed them that much over the last 4 years.
But you initiated a lot of projects and provided your fellow students across a range of disciplines with lots of opportunities. Yeah?
Yeah.
Give us an example.
Yeah,
come on, think on your feet.
Well, there's a couple different things I was involved in there now recently. I wrote a short film there,
right?
Involving myself. There was the person that filmed it was, of course, a media student here.
Yeah.
The person that directed it was from the performing arts. A lot of the cast came through the college.
Okay.
Just
huge collaboration.
Well, it's big enough now. It kept
us
on the go.
And what will this award mean? Are you delighted?
Well, funny enough now, this time last year I was in India on an Erasmus project with Michael Poole, who won. And funny enough now, when I came home, I actually took a picture of their award. And I said, someday I'm going to win one of these as well. So
you've made your dream come true, so well done.
I didn't plan on it so quick, like.
Well done. Thank you so much indeed. Okay, congratulations, well done. Worthy winner. And I mean, I know it's a cliche to say everybody's a winner, but if you've made it onto the final list, you're absolutely a winner today, and we're going to have photographs with everybody at the end. Okay, our next and penultimate award is the Northern Ireland Intern of the Year Award. It's open to any interns working in creative industries who've shown exceptional ambition and talent in 2017. And the finalists for this award are Rebecca Davis, Belfast Film Festival; Maeve Rooney, Northern Ireland Science Festival; Erin McLean from Young at Art; and Erin Moore, also from Young at Art. 2 Erins from Young at Art. And our winners today are Maeve Rooney. Oh, sorry, hold on. Shapers Creepers. I nearly had an Oscars moment there. Hold on now. Oh, God, thank God I got it right. Okay, we'll have a quick drum roll just to cover my mistake. The winners are 2 winners, Maeve Rooney from Northern Ireland Science Festival and Erin McLean from Young at Art. Woo! I think Maeve is here. Maeve here? Yeah. Well done indeed. This is Maeve. Congratulations, Maeve. Erin can't be here today, but Maeve, if you want to take that microphone. So Maeve entered a high-pressured and busy environment for 2018 festival, which boasted over 185 events across 92 different venues. And apparently you fitted seamlessly into the team and became a massive asset to the organisation. So what was it like from your point of view? That's what they said. How did you feel?
Gosh, I don't even know. Yeah, it was brilliant. I mean, quite a lot of the panelists were saying that it was like a coming home moment whenever they fell into like their jobs. And very much so for me, it was also kind of like that. I actually come from a geography background. I did geography at Queen's. So it was interesting coming into arts management and like the creative field because I'd never really thought about festival life before. So coming into it and having my eyes like wide open and kind of brought to the fore. It was brilliant and very, very inspiring, and I'm very humbled by the fact that I actually won. So thank you.
It's a big deal to win an award, isn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it whatsoever. Thank you.
Well done. And what? Just tell us quickly. So you've done the internship. Are you in the middle of it, or have you finished?
No, I've finished, but I'm back with the Science Festival at the moment, so I'm loving every moment of it, and I'm back as an assistant. So I've moved up in the world a wee bit.
Well, there you go. There's another inspiration. Well done, Maeve. Congratulations. And congratulations, of course, to Erin, who obviously won the award but isn't here today. And our final award, ladies and gentlemen, is Apprentice of the Year, and it's open to any apprentice working in creative industries who's shown exceptional ambition and talent, as you'll have worked out by now, in 2017. And we have 3 finalists as Apprentice of the Year. They are Una McCaig from Grand Opera House, Fionnuala Cush from Culturland. Cush or Cush? Cush. And Nathan Jones from Crescent Arts Centre. And our final winner of this afternoon, Apprentice of the Year, is from Culturland. It's Fionnuala Cush. Well done. Well done. Bull bus a Fionnuala. Tá méid fólam Gaeilge inis, an Gaeilge agat. Okay, Fionnuala started her apprentice at the Welcome Desk at Culturland. Culturland's the Irish language centre on the Falls Road in West Belfast, and she proved to be a very winning asset. Great communication skills, detail-orientated, another control freak. So tell us a little bit about what were the highlights for you. Bring the microphone.
Oh my God, I'm so nervous. Just everything. The highlight for me has been being able to progress and learning new skills every day, and just to develop, being able to develop and add to your career, starting out a career.
Keep up there, yeah. And you did all this while you were still attending night school as well.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So you're very dedicated.
I finished all that now, and I'm coming till the end of my apprenticeship now, just after Christmas. So it's very exciting.
And what do you think you're going to do next?
I still want to just continue developing my skills. I'm still learning, so I'm just happy enough doing that. I'll be continuing to do business development in the Culturland.
Well, I have to say the judges and your colleagues spoke incredibly highly about you. You'll be able to wear this around your neck now when you greet people and go, "Hello, I'm the award-winning Fionnuala Cush." Well, once again, delighted. And what will this mean to you, do you think?
It means everything. It really does. It's just nice to know that you're appreciated in your work.
It's huge. Okay, you take our best wishes with you. One more round of applause for the fabulous Fionnuala. And one more thank you. Let's hear a little bit more from our house band. Give us a wee bit of a buzz. Can you play quietly under me while I do the thank yous? What key do you want to play the thank yous in? Key of whatever. Be thankful. Be whatever. Today we'd like to say thank you. Okay, everybody, put your arms in the air. Northwest Regional College for hosting, and all the staff and students for their participation and collaboration in the run-up, especially Ronan O'Callaghan for all his coordination. Northwest Regional College dance and music students for their performances. Woo! Northwest Regional College catering students for the food and drink. Northwest Regional College students for running the show today with lighting and sound. Our very own Northwest Regional College house band, the No-Nos. And thank you to our panellists, Suzanne, Mark, Hannah, Matthew, Sarah and Tomala. Thank you to the Arts Council, if you're here, for sponsoring this event. We couldn't do it without you. And finally, thank you to everyone for coming. Final congratulations to the winners. There'll be photographs here afterwards, so don't run away. You've been great. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you, and good night. Woo! I thought you were going to break into a 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, you might as well play. Play. I think the photographs are going to be done up here, are they? You what? You are going to perform for us, aren't you? Sorry, there's me saying, oh, bloody hell, get on with it, mate. Thank you very much. You're brilliant. for Cherith McCook and the band. Lady Gaga, eat your heart out from a star. Cherith, come here. Cherith. One of the things to learn is take your applause. Take your applause. Fantastic. That was absolutely belting. And thank you, band. You were wonderful. And I think that is actually the end. Ronan, what a great group you have here. That is the end of the formal proceedings. And we are going to have photographs. So if you're a winner or runner-up, please hang about and we'll do photographs here. As for the rest of you, have a great evening. As I always say, I'll leave you with this thought. Keep a sense of humour. It's very important. What would we be if we couldn't laugh at ourselves? Jeffrey Donaldson. Thank you.